Yo, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Gurren Otaku Council podcast. This week, we got episode 85. Well, for today, for you, we got the Muscles and not Muscle, it's Mashle, Magic and Muscles,
Yeah.
season 2, everybody, and of course, much more. But of course, before we get all that, you'd like to join me, my friend McMillian here, as we discuss all things anime and sometimes manga. Then please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, as well as follow us on our social media so you can stay up to date on all things about the council. Ladies and gentlemen, the council is now in session. Let the meeting begin. All right, everybody. Welcome back for another week. Hope everybody's doing super fantastic. How you doing today, McMillian?
I'm doing good, my friend. How about you?
Doing good. Let's see here. So we got Mashle today, season 2. For those who been around for a while, we did review season 1, so we do have our season 1 review of Mashle out now, on all of our platforms. So if you want to go take a listen to that, you can. But why don't you go ahead and hit everybody with today's council announcements?
Yep. So for council announcements today, I just want to remind everyone, last week we did our spring season's first impressions, where we talked about a couple of the new series from spring, as well as Ace's One Piece 1102 review.
Yes. Pause. It is let me speak right there. So it is not 1102 anymore. It is 1103, everybody.
Oh, okay.
I was not able to finish the docket for 1102 in time before 1103 came out, so I was just like, forget it, just gonna push everything back. I had a thumbnail made for it and everything, but it's okay. So it's gonna be 1103. Of course, we'll touch on any major highlights that was in 1102. But I'll explain over in everything in the One Piece review. So just meet me over there, everybody. Just meet me over there.
That's hilarious. And to round out council announcements, our agenda for today will be, like Ace said before, we'll be starting with the Mashle season 2 review, and then moving into anime news, and then wrapping everything up with our weekly recommendation, as we always do. So, yeah.
That is correct. All right, well, why don't we go ahead and start with today's first discussion of the day, the Mashle season 2 review, everybody. And it was a blast. I did enjoy this season.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see, just off of, I guess, brief thoughts, if I enjoy season 2 or season 1 more. What would you give it to?
I think I'd say it's season 2. I think they expanded.
You think you'd give it a 2? I think I'd give it a 2 as well.
They did a lot, I feel like, to expand not only on like the world, but also the characters and everything. So I'd probably have to give it a 2, just from like a story standpoint. And it was a bit more, and to me, it was a bit more enjoyable as well from like a viewer standpoint. I did like this one a bit more.
Yeah.
Also, the opening just slaps. So like that,
it definitely does. And Crunchyroll, if I don't see this opening in anime, in the running for for opening of the year, somebody got to see about me. Somebody got to see about me.
It's rigged.
It's 100% rigged. If this is not at least nominated, 100% rigged. But let's go and get into it. So, what would you like to start off? What would you like to start us off with?
So one of the big things I think from this season that they started off with, one, I guess, so we end off with the season with basically a big fight with Mashle and I forgot what that student's name is, the guy with the puppets. And from that, I guess it resulted in rumors getting out that Mash can't use magic. So people started bringing him in for questioning. And you're like, shit, our hero, he about to get executed. We all know the drill. And then it turns out that some of the, the luminaries, visionaries, I think is what they're called.
Divine visionaries.
Are like, actually, I think it's kind of cool that he can't use magic. And then some of them are like, nah, kill this man. So they allow him to give himself a chance to prove himself. And the only way to do that is by entering the competition or tournament to become a divine visionary. And it's a tournament arc this season, and it was great.
Yes, it was. They busted out a tournament arc of this season. The classic shonen tournament arc that every show gotta have. Shonen show gotta have, right? Mm-hmm. This one did go by kind of fast though, because the first test there was in like this underground dungeon where they were pitted against they was broken into separate teams and stuff like that, and then pitted against the other teams, and there was this one guy who had this crazy magic where he couldn't feel no pain. Of course, Master just broke through that with brute force, so you're gonna feel this pain.
Basically, he overwhelmed his ability, and I mean, like, hey, well, you got a character that could do anything with physicality. Why not, right?
Yeah. And then what I did think was really interesting this season, or one of the highlights of the season, was the fight with him and oh boy, I can't remember his name but the sounds guy, right? The one who
yeah,
magic is music. Yeah. But his ability, being able to move at the speed of sound and everything, I thought that was really, really cool.
Yeah, no, I thought that was great too, especially when they had like the transformation trope, because I was like, all right, what the fuck is this? He started being able to move at the speed of sound. I was like, all right, this is ridiculous. All right, but I'm fucking with it. I'm here for it. How you gonna get him?
I can't remember. Yeah, I think he did. Some like I think the classic ground pound maneuvers and stuff like that to kind of like
him to go a certain way,
slow him down. Yeah, it was crazy, but nonetheless, that was nice as well. The training arc was nice, but just like also in great shonen fashion, the tournament arc has to be ruined
by something. Yeah, right.
By something.
And
so,
okay. Well, I don't know if you were about to get into Innocent Zero just yet, but
well, no, I wasn't. I was about to. Well, I kind of was, but not fully. But basically, the big bad of the arc pulls up. Well, I guess for the series pulls up in this arc now. But before we got to him, though, what I did want to talk about some of the world building that we got in this season with both triple liners and awakening your wands. If I believe that's what it's called.
Basically,
right?
I think it's called Awakening Wand, but also they call it like summoning the god that resides in your wand.
Oh yeah, a summon. There we go. It's called a summon.
Which I was like, first off, why is a god in my wand, and why are they just cool to hang out there? What the fuck is this? But yeah, triple liners was interesting, and I did like the explanation they gave, because apparently, like, was it old boy with the puppet? He was a triple liner, but he was like artificial from what they were saying. Like, I think Innocent Zero gave him his third line, so it wasn't like he exactly had it. And then we got to see what a real triple liner was with old boy's brother. I forget his name. The half blonde kid. His older brother was like the first one we got to saw.
Oh, talking about the sword, divine visionary, that guy, yeah. I remember
he's
now.
The Mashle's friend's older brother. I just forget his name, but he's like partially blonde.
Correct.
That was crazy. I was like, first,
because that's when we found out that triple liners, they had the ability to, like you said, use their summons and stuff, and you unlock the true powers of their wands. But then we saw old boy the master pull up, and then this whole time I already knew this man wasn't a one liner, right? I already knew that couldn't be true, because I was like, if you're truly a one liner, there's no way you made it to the top of the pinnacle of of the magic verse. There's just no way. You're just hiding your power, right? So I already knew that trope was there. They didn't fool me with that at all. But it turns out that Wahlberg was actually a triple line the entire time. Oh, what a shock, right? But it turns out he was a triple line the entire time. But then there's even another stage, almost like essentially like a bankai, right, that you can use with your, or I guess this one would be more of akin to a domain expansion, because at least as far as right now, we don't know if every single, I think he called it the third, right? If it unleashes like a zone like his did, or if it does something different. But at least he opened up an entirely different space.
Yeah, Wahlberg. Yeah, I mean, and it's interesting. But to talk about the triple liner thing, it's kind of interesting. I really like how a single liner can also awaken to be a triple liner or whatever. Like because the first one we see is what's his name's brother, and he's a double liner, and he just ends up growing like an extra line.
Yeah.
And then you get to the tournament episode where Innocent Zero shows up, and Wahlberg, who just like Ace, I assumed, I was like, there's no way he's just a single, unlocks the third. And I was not sure if like how that would work. I didn't know if like it was like it was like Super Saiyan where you have to go one by one, or if you just go straight there. And then when it happened, I was like, okay, all right, there we go. There we go. Yeah, but it's very interesting, because now we have I mean, obviously Mashle, he can't use magic, so I guess he won't. right now, I don't think he'll get there. But it's interesting to see that our characters, whether they be single or double liners, can have a thing to aim for now. Because I was definitely about to say, like, I feel like Mashle's friends right now. I was like, unless they just get stronger spells, I don't know like how far they're gonna go. And then the triple liner thing got introduced, and I'm like, well, now I know what they're gonna aim for after this season.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no, Mashle is crazy. It's so many different parodies and tropes mixed into this one show. It's a fun time though. It is a fun time though, but because it's also very another trope I didn't, or I guess another parody you can connect it to. Why I didn't make the connection till after the season is One Punch Man as well, right? Yeah, because that's essentially how a lot of his fights goes as well. Just down in one punch. Not every fight, but a lot of them.
Yeah, there are some that are just definitely like, all right, I'm about to overwhelm you with my physicality and goodbye.
Oh man. But yeah, so I think we can go to Innocent Zero now if you want to start.
Okay, so yeah, we found a big reveal this season. Besides like the tournament arc and the triple liners, we get exposed to the big bad name who's been whispered, and he finally shows up, and we're like, okay, cool, what dude? Like, why are you here? Why are you about to interrupt the tournament? Turns out, Innocent Zero this whole time was a deadbeat father. He was out there. He is Mash's dad. And he was not gonna claim his child until he did something exciting, and from that was basically Mash proving that basically even though he had no magic, he could stand up to the rest of everybody else. And so Innocent was like, bet, cool, I'm gonna claim you, but I'm also going to absorb you into myself. I was like, all right, what the fuck going on? Why is every anime villain right now becoming Orochimaru? Like, what's the trend here? Okay,
I don't know. That just seems to be in the hot trend right now. Orochimaru has a lot of sons out there right now. It's crazy.
Because I wasn't surprised that I guess I should say this. I wasn't fully surprised that Mash was Innocent Zero's kid, because I knew that there was something going on with Mash because of how special of a human he was to have no magic, right? So when that happened, I was like, cool. But when Innocent Zero said, all right, and I had you've reached the pinnacle, I can now absorb you into myself. I was like, God damn it. I was not I was like, I should have seen it coming, but I didn't. I was like, fuck.
Yeah. I guess that was the only thing that did throw me off a little, because like you said, I already knew, like, of course, he needed Master for some part of his nefarious plan, right? But okay, this a whole absorb become a part of me. I was like, all right, now wait a minute.
I was like, God damn it.
All right, that's a little bit more crazy than I thought. It's still, you still have the overarching goal of taking over the world, but you want to also become this, ultimate,
this perfect being, basically
omnipotent being, there you go, perfect being type situation. And I was like, all right, here we go, another Eisen here, everybody.
Yep. No, I mean, and also it's funny. I make the Orochimaru comparison, but he also brought somebody back from the dead to fight someone. Like, I didn't think about that. I didn't connect that until now, but Jesus.
He did. he legit hit the forbidden juice on there.
It was called legit. Forbidden spell too. Mesh was so over the top that you sometimes don't recognize when it's parodying something. That's crazy, because I didn't fully connect it until now.
Yep, my man Pop pulled out the Reaper, well, not the Reaper Death Seal, but the Forbidden Jutsu, the Summoning Jutsu, revived old boy Adam, and then we had this. We got to introduce to this other character, this Adam guy, right? Who's supposed to be in the original, I guess God over the Magic Verse to a certain extent, right? And you come to find out that he had 3 students, him, Innocent Zero, Wahlberg, and some other person we haven't met yet. I'm assuming we might meet them next season. And yeah, he revives this guy as well, and just his magic is darkness, and that was a whole different ball game in itself. But thankfully, our boy Wahlberg had already surpassed his old master and was able to pack him back on up real quick. And also, thankfully, it wasn't just his master, right? He was being puppeteered by some other guy, right? So it's not like he was actually fighting against his master.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Yep. No, that was it was a pretty interesting fight, because I was definitely like, wow. But Wahlberg did suffer severe like he lost his arm, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Yes, he did lose an arm. He did.
So it was still
That
a
he
very
did.
brutal fight, but like I said, he did surpass his master. Wahlberg's magic is also crazy because it's basically spatial magic, and I was like, all right, well,
Yes.
pack it up, everybody.
Well, ain't no basically it is spatial magic.
Pack it up, everyone.
Oh.
You can't get better than this, and then also, and it's in Zero's time. And I was like, well, okay, these people are just cracked. I
mean, I guess what else you expect from Adam students, right?
They was like, all right, the laws of nature. Yeah, that's us. All right.
That's us. Yep, that's us. Space and time, we got it. Well, I guess, I also thought about it. Space and time are normally correlated together, like within the power system, stuff like that. So it is interesting that, he was space and then his opposite was his counterpart, I guess his rival in a sense.
Yeah.
Was time.
Crazy.
So I wonder, with that being said, what do you think the last person's magic is then? The third student of Adams.
No. If
it gotta be something
Adam's
crazy.
Darkness, so I was like,
have we seen light magic yet?
No,
I don't think we've seen light magic yet.
That was what I was about to say. I was like, Adam already had darkness, so it might be light. Because in my head, I was like, should I do the fucking Pokemon trio right now? Space, time, darkness. But then I was like, oh wait, no, darkness was taken. So I guess light would be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
the next runner up.
Yeah. So it'd probably be light, and because the only other thing I could think of, space, time. Yeah, it had to be light. I would have to assume it's light. If not like the Earth itself, but then again.
Because then another runner would have been gravity, but we already got gravity, right?
Little Lance.
That would have been my next runner up because gravity magic is a pain in the ass to deal with.
Yep. Yeah, so I'd have to assume light would be the next one. Oh,
I'm trying to think. Yeah, if I had to guess, yeah, I would go with light. I would go with light. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think all the other primordial magics have been technically used up.
Yeah, technically, I would probably say.
Unless you just want to start getting this crazy stuff like elementals, like maybe like lightning or something, or
I'm pretty sure someone already
Nova, sun.
I would assume someone has to have fire and lightning or whatever somewhere.
Well, I'm pretty sure somebody got fire, but we already got fire with explosion magic. It's like a subcategory, I guess.
in a way, yeah.
I could start a fire with this explosion. Oh man, but yeah. So yeah, if I had to guess, I would say Adam's third student specializes in light magic. That's the guess I'm going for right now.
Okay, yeah, I would agree.
If not light, it will be something like nature magic, right? That'll be another OP magic that I can think of.
Okay, for a second you froze on my end, so I wasn't sure if we lost you or not.
Oh, okay, my bad. But yeah, but just in case, I'll say it again. If it's not light, it might be nature magic because that's one of the only other OP magics I can think of currently we ain't seen.
Yeah, nature. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Yeah, I could see that. But
well, okay, but with the end of season 2 for Mashle, what are you hoping out of season 3?
Well, I guess like I said, so right now we have a goal in mind, right, of going after Innocent Zero, and then also I'm pretty sure the side characters want to get stronger, and not have Mashle rely on other stuff. So I'm assuming they're gonna try and develop their third lines or anything, or figure out the secrets of getting their third line. So that would be one. I'd probably say. I would also like to see what's more from the divine now that they're introduced to the divine luminaries or the am I saying that?
Visionaries?
Visionaries, Jesus. Now that they're actually
give them a whole new name,
but now that they're actually introduced, I would love to see what they're all about and how they'll fold into the story, because when they first showed up, it was just kind of oh, Kasuke, kind of the Hashiras when they first showed up, they just had we just got to kind of see their characteristics. We didn't really get to see fully what they were about.
I can't remember if they told us what magic they specialized in when they also did like their name title cards. I can't remember. They also told us what magic they specialized in. I had to go back and look at that.
I think you kind of get a hint of it because I think their titles have to do with their magics or something like that. But I would have to go back and see because they had.
I believe it does because like they all have like title called like a cane. And then like the sword guy, he's called the sword cane. You know, he specializes in sword magic.
Yeah. So like what was I about to say? Like for instance, we know that one dude, the green hair dude, is earth or sand specifically. It seems like
something like that. Yeah, one of the two, earth or sand.
And then
yeah,
I assume one of them had like a robe that was blue and it had like would look like a snowflake. So I'm assuming ice magic for that one. And then the blonde guy who kept showing up, who was like on Mashle's side.
He might actually be light magic.
That was the thing I was about to say. Like I was wondering, now that I remembered him, he might be light magic because he was teleporting in like his first appearance.
Yeah.
So that could be something.
And then from all the way it's been teasing it, he might be like the way it's been teased. He might be the strongest divine visionary. He could have like magic, and then like you said, like the way his code is, he got like all those stars and stuff on him. Either some like star magic, maybe
that could be
right
one as well.
Maybe if they gave it to him, if they want to pull a you know. But yeah, I could definitely see him being light as well.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see. I would definitely like to see like more of them and like where they fold into, I guess, like the story.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get to see more of them in action, right? Because at least my vision for how season 3 is gonna go is we're gonna do the final exam for the divine visionary arc, right? He's gonna become a divine visionary. And then I don't know if we're gonna get to this in season 3. I guess it just depends on how fast the pacing is. But after that, then of course the battle with NS0, and Wiz already said that he got 5 people under him that's just as strong as Wahlberg. So, divine visionaries, they got to come in somewhere, right, to help out with that.
And then I guess in the process of that, that's where like our side characters, Mashle's friends, are gonna unlock their triple line or something like that.
Yeah, and as far as Mashle's friends, the only people that I will say will get a triple line is the old boy using gravity magic, and maybe the guy with explosion magic. The other two, they're not getting
because they're just comedy relief.
Yes, yeah,
probably.
Yes,
I could see that. Yeah, I feel like they would definitely give the bomb guy it just because.
But definitely the gravity magic.
Yeah, that's a guarantee. But I really feel like for comedy's sake, I feel like they definitely would give
that's why I mentioned him too. Yes, I can see him getting it, but the other two, no. Because at least the bomb guy magic, at least he actually does participate in the battles, right? Like you said, the other two, they're more of our Nami Usopp of the group, right? So they're just, chilling. Not saying that they won't help, but they're not the main battlers.
I agree. Yeah, so that's I guess for season 2, just to finally wrap it all up, I want to rank it out of 10.
Yeah. I will give it a solid 7.
Okay, I was leaning towards like maybe a 7.5. I don't know what I gave season 1, but I did enjoy this.
I don't know what I gave season 1 either.
I did enjoy this a bit more than season 1, so I was like 7.5 this time because I feel like I may have given season 1 a 7. So like this is, to me, I feel like they just kind of improved upon like what they did with last season. Even like the comedy aspects were even funnier to me.
Mashle was a fool
because when he was fighting old boy with the metal spike magic, and he was like, and he revealed, and he told Mashle basically all about Innocent Zero. He was like, "Wow, that's heavy. I'm gonna take a nap." He just pulled out that gun. I was like, "Oh my god!" I laughed so hard. So
yeah, that was hilarious. Or no, one of my favorite parts was when during the Innocent Zero fight, right when he went to help Wahlberg and how he's flying in the air because he just so hard. Really bad. And you just see his little, feet moving hella fast.
And they acknowledge it for a second. They like, I was like, dang, he kicked it that hard. And then they just go back to the monologue again. And I'm just like, that's hilarious. The fact that they even acknowledge it is just very funny.
Oh no, those are always the funny parts. When somebody acknowledges, when just a random person just acknowledges the crazy stuff Mashle's doing, is he? What, did he just do that? What? We're all just gonna act like we're not just all just gonna forget we just saw this man grab magic with his hand, right? We're not just you all just saw that, right?
Like the first time he fucking
Yeah, no,
volleyball
it's
spiked
crazy.
a magical ball, like the magical shots or whatever. I was
Yeah. Oh, that's what I knew. Yeah, I was in for a crazy time. Because that moment, like you said, that reminded me of that Hunter x Hunter scene, right? In with the dodgeball stuff.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yep.
It's great, and it's just stuff like that. Just like how I can recall other scenes from other animes inside of Mashle. It's just beautiful. I don't know if they're doing this on purpose or not, but it's just beautiful.
Yeah, it just shows how good of a parody it is, I think.
Yes, I do agree. Like some stuff, yes, is on purpose, but like I just don't know if like everything they're doing is on purpose or it's just so good that it just lines up right. Oh man. But nonetheless, everybody, that is the Mashle season 2 review. Everybody, let us know down below in the comments what you guys thought of Mashle season 2 if you did check it out. And if you're gonna be checking out season 3. But now that we're done with that, everybody, we're gonna move on to my favorite section of the day, everybody. It is time for GOC News, your weekly source for your favorite anime news. So let's get into it. All right, everybody, welcome back for another week of news. We don't have much today. I will say towards the end of news here, we're gonna dive off into some gaming topic here. Just because both me and Jay are very avid gamers, and there's a lot of
a very interesting.
There's
topic.
a current situation going on within the gaming community, so we definitely wanted to give our thoughts about it. But starting us off here. What is this?
What, the general news?
I think I think I'll let you talk about that one. So I'll start us off with the Crunchyroll part.
Right.
So Crunchyroll, everybody, is going to be increasing their subscription on all their, well, not all their fan tiers, just their mega fan tier and their ultimate fan tier. So it's going from, what is this, $11.99 to $15.99?
So it's just, those are just the price increases. So for mega fans, the price is increasing to $11.99, basically $12 a month.
Okay, got you.
And for mega fans,
and then for mega fans, it's increasing to $15.99.
Yeah.
Or for ultimate fans, it's increasing to $15.99.
Yep.
That's crazy. $16 a month. Yeah, I mean, we knew they were coming eventually. Right? I believe we talked about this when we was talking about the closing of Funimation and all that stuff, right? And it was like, eventually we probably are going to see Crunchyroll prices rise up because now, unfortunately, Sony has kind of a monopoly on anime distribution in the West. Not a full monopoly because we see High Dive coming out of nowhere trying to fight back. We also got Disney Plus trying to fight. And even in some cases, we also got Amazon trying to, do stuff every now and then. It's very rare for them.
It's very random for Amazon and sporadic. Because like originally, if I'm not mistaken, I think that was the only thing Vinland was streaming on, and went to Netflix.
Yeah, it was. It's weird.
Netflix.
It's weird.
And Netflix.
Yeah. Like I said, Vinland was on Amazon and Netflix. Did I not mention Netflix? I guess Netflix was no brainer, but Netflix is also doing anime. But basically, I guess because of the majority of it, because Sony owns Crunchyroll, and I believe they also own. No, they don't. That's Hulu. Because I was about to say no. Hulu Disney Plus owns Hulu. There we go. Disney I guess Disney owns Hulu and Disney Plus. But yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It's just. I mean, they have most of the market cornered for anime. Because, like Correct. I said, even because they're the one producing the films, the show. Yeah. So it's just It's crazy.
It's crazy.
I mean, they also have updated. They'll also updated actually recently because recently I don't know if you've seen it, but they recently came out with the fact that if you have a Crunchyroll account, you can now have profiles on an account.
Yes,
which they didn't do before. So I figured this was
is kind of odd once you really think about it, because this is like, how long have streaming services been around? Like this ain't. It's not like we're reinventing the wheel here. Like, what do you mean?
But I mean, hey, they catching up with the times, and with that comes, I guess, price hikes. So hey,
I mean, listen, I don't think a fucking separate accounts justify a price hike in my opinion.
I mean,
with the price hike is probably coming from, like I said, the merging of Funimation and Crunchyroll all together.
Well, no, I wasn't saying that was the reason, but I was saying modernizing, and then also, like increasing, because I'm pretty sure now that their libraries are actually fully, interlaced, they're now going to start,
Mm-hmm.
ramping up their production on other animes and stuff like that.
Oh, and it's probably
Because I was
so.
about to say,
Yeah.
like, Netflix, and like we just said, Netflix, Disney, they're also like seeing how good of an investment anime is. Why the fuck would like Sony not try and like increase that? And the first way to do that, get more money from people. So that's just the it's just
I'm tired of inflation. Inflation everywhere, man. I'm so tired of this shit.
Yep, unfortunately.
But I'm not here to rant about inflation though. You can go ahead and keep going with the news,
I must say,
man.
unfortunately, it's just kind of the times. But good news. Not necessarily about the Crunchyroll thing, but there are some good news. So the creator of Hunter x Hunter recently on his Twitter teased the return of the manga. So
Beautiful.
which hopefully that means his health is getting a bit better and stuff like that. But also, Hunter x Hunter, hope slowly but surely coming back to off its hiatus. So he posted on
Beautiful.
Wednesday. He shared some art and like a title of a manuscript. So basically, it showed that like chapter 4.
He's working
chapter
on
4
it.
or 5 is in the works and hopefully like releasing not pretty soon. Not that far. Like it already has a name, a manuscript, all that. So keep Togashi. Just keep Togashi in your prayers and stuff like that, and hopefully everything goes right with the Hunter x Hunter's return.
All right, everybody. So next up here for news, everybody, this is some Bleach 1,000-Year Blood War news and some good news, everybody. So, Studio Parrot has opened up a new studio called Parrot Films, right, everybody? And this films is aiming to compete with the many high quality shows that's out there in the anime industry. And they also said they want to make animes that are movie quality that comes out of this studio, which I guess hit the name Parrot Films, right? But one of the very first anime that's going to be worked on in this studio is the season 3 for Bleach 1,000-Year Blood War. So once again, like I mentioned earlier, they said their aim is to make movie quality anime with this, within this studio. So that is good news for Bleach fans out there. And I guess technically Boruto fans and Black Clover fans as well, because Studio Para also does those as well. But we haven't got confirmation whether those animes are going to be moving over to the studio or not. But good news in general though.
Yeah, no, I do think this would be interesting because, like Bleach 1,000-Year Blood War already had crazy animation, and from what the article that talked about this said, it's even gonna get better. So I do think this is kind of
which is crazy to think about.
I do think this is really cool. Because other studios have already kind of practiced this in ways they've made special teams to work on certain things like that. Or in some cases, like with Mashuko Tensei, they made a whole nother studio to work specifically on anime. So with this,
your fun fact of the day,
because I didn't even know apparently the studio that's worked on Mashuko Tensei was that's how it got made. With this, I think the more serious or crazy adaptations that we get, like the more hyped up ones for Parrot, are going to look insane. So that's it's just really cool to think about.
100%. But like I said, we're gonna get to the gaming news after. So let's just jump down into. You want to talk about the new Kaiju number 8 spinoff series that
this
we're
looks
like
we're so basically it looks like, from what I can tell, that Kaiju number 8 is getting another spinoff series. It already has one that focuses on a different character in the series. This one seems to be kind of like how Attack on Titan got that high school slice of life spinoff that they got, like, because this one is called, hold on, let me see. Yeah, this is called Kaiju number 8 Relax. And it's coming out on June 4th. So just be aware for the Kaiju number 8 fans, if you are interested to see, I guess, like a slice of life / daily thing in the life of a, what do they call it, Kaiju Defense Force member. They are making a series about that, and I'm pretty sure it's probably gonna have like more of the comedy aspects of Kaiju number 8 in it.
Okay. That'll be interesting. Yes. Kaiju number 8 is one of the new animes that's airing this season, and it is off to a phenomenal start. I might add, I have been enjoying every single episode of Kaiju number 8 so far.
And then after that, another new series is just for Arknight fans, for your gacha games. Another Arknight is getting a anime called Rise from the Embers. It didn't have an exact release date or like when you could expect it. So just know if you're a fan of Arknight, it's getting an anime soon. So be on the lookout for that.
All right, and then for two up and coming animes, we got here the Irregular Magic at High School gets a spin-off novel, or gets
yeah,
the
novel gets a
spin-off
manga.
novel gets a manga. Oh, interesting. Okay. And then after that, we also have the Irregular Magic at High School Darkness Flashes of Current. Is this the same thing?
Yeah, that's the title of it.
Oh, that's the title. Okay, the title of the manga is going to be called Irregular Magic at High School Darkness Flashes Across the Curtain of Night. Oh my gosh, that's a long time.
Yeah. And it comes, and the manga starts.
I see why I repped to the second line now.
Yeah, I didn't mean to confuse you.
And that's gonna be starting up this summer. Yeah, I see. I was like, what? Oh, okay, yeah, that's a long time. But yeah, that's gonna be starting up this summer in June 27. Okay, I don't know too much about this series, but I know McMillian has talked a little bit about this series. So I don't know if you want to talk a little bit more about it.
I don't know much about the spinoff series. Like I said, I've just watched a little bit of the anime, and it's good. It's on it just recently got a third season, I think last end of last year. So it's a pretty popular series. It does have I would probably say not modern, but basically the series, if you have not heard of it, it's basically a series about this character. These characters that attend this magic high school that are in a world where magic is common, and it's somewhat like futuristic. So it like combines magic and tech a bit with it. So like and also like I also talked about like how there was this magic war at one point, so it has some political intrigue in there and stuff like that. So I would if any of that sounds interesting, check it out. Is all I can say.
All right. Well, like I said, everybody, so that is the end of the anime part of the news, right, everybody? So this is the first time for everything, but we want to talk about some of the I guess gaming controversy that's going on in the gaming verse, right? So Sony is up and at it. Let people tell it, this is the second game Sony done ruined, right? With the first being the Celebrate controversy, but in my opinion, there was just a bunch of people crying over nothing with the Celebrate controversy stuff. But this stuff right here with the what we got going on with Helldivers 2 is odd, to say the least. I don't know the decision behind why would you do such a thing like this, especially to a brand new game that's popping off. But the only thing I can account this to is just corporate greed, because there's no other way you just do this to your game like this. What started off as a small issue, in my opinion, just turned into a bigger way bigger issue than it had to be. But essentially, just to catch up everybody who don't know what's been going on, essentially there's this video game called Helldivers 2 that came out a few months ago and everything. But apparently at the release of the game on Steam, there was supposed to be a requirement where it made you have a PSN account basically to log in. But it turns out that functionality for the game wasn't working upon launch, and they didn't enforce that, right? Fast forward a couple months later, Sony comes out that they're enforcing this rule, or
it was like last week, right?
Fast forward to now. Fast forward to now, essentially Sony comes out with this new rule saying, well, not new rule, but basically just coming out reinforcing the rule. But in my opinion, it has not been communicated in very well throughout these months at all, But they come out saying, hey, starting in June, people on Steam, you're gonna have to link your PSN accounts in order to play Helldivers 2, right? Instead of rolling back this issue, because this caused major controversy in the game community, right? Because I mean, I guess a lot of people don't like having separate accounts, which is understandable, right? But I do agree with them. Like, if this was something that should, even though it was something that technically should have been in the game to begin with, this one, in my opinion, yes, you guys should have communicated this way better than what you did, right? Two, the main issue, which I do think this is fucked up now, there are certain countries, apparently over 50 plus, maybe 100 plus countries, where you cannot create a PSN account, right? But they were selling this game in those countries. These people no longer have access to the game now, and Sony has stopped selling this game in those countries as well on top of that.
So I have a question, Ace. So you said that this requirement won't go through until June. So is
Yes.
it have they already?
Well, okay. Let me rephrase this. So maybe people in those countries can still play the game, but they're no longer selling it in those countries anymore. Maybe you've already bought it, you can still play
that
it,
was my
but they're no longer selling it in those countries anymore.
that was basically what I was gonna say. I was like, they preemptively already just removed the service.
No, yeah, this was said. Let me be transparent here. But regardless, that's
no, it's crazy.
That's still crazy.
That's wild. Because I was aware of the PSN thing, and at first, and I saw the controversy, like people being upset, and I was like, okay, I kind of get it. Like you don't want to have to be forced to do, because I hate, for instance, was it Ubisoft does that with every fucking game they do. Every game Ubisoft comes out with now, you have to have a Ubisoft account, whatever you're playing on. And it's annoying. It's really annoying because I'm just like, what the fuck am I gonna use this account for, Ubisoft?
You're gonna use it for
exactly. And so I'm just like, I completely get that frustration, but I'm like, that's just a small thing, because I'm like, even when I play the Ubisoft game, it's not like I'm going on my Ubisoft account like all the time or anything like that. It's just there. So I figured that would be the same thing for PSN, because at first I was like, okay, it kind of sucks, because it's like how at first I was like, oh, that sucks. But then I thought about it, I'm like, oh, well, you can go online and make you a PSN account. You ain't got to have like a PlayStation or any of their products to really do that. So I was like, okay, it's a pretty simple fix. So I was like...
And I guess to come to some people's defense, other people before the whole issue with the, delisting of the countries and stuff like that, from selling and stuff like that. Some people were saying just about, how they just don't like Sony's security issues because they're always having breaches and stuff like that. So there was some people saying that's another reason why they didn't necessarily want to link their Steam account to a PSN account.
That is also very fair. But I was...
Which is why, which I was like, okay, yes, I agree with you. Okay, that's fair.
But I was also like, so I didn't think it was a big deal until Ace told me right before we started recording. He was like, hey, you been hearing about this controversy? I was like, I heard about the PlayStation thing. I was like, what's going on? He told me about how the countries where you can't get a PSN account, they're just going to be shit out of luck come whenever this enforcement comes. I did not, and that's insane. That's wild, considering like what Helldivers is right now in the zeitgeist of like the world. It's one of the it's the biggest game.
Breath of fresh air.
And that too. It's like the biggest game right now. It's because it has very little to no toxicity in it, due to the fact that like it's a collaborative game. Like everybody, one's against anybody.
And their monetization practice is what I would say is, to my standards, are very consumer friendly, in my opinion, compared to all the other microtransactions, practices that's going on in the game industry, right?
Yeah.
It is crazy. So to have that, and then just like a bomb ass community of developers that's not only showing passion for developing this game, but also just talking to the community on different issues and all that stuff. Like since launch, since day one, like they have been very transparent with the community. Yes. This is just a shame, and it sucks to see that the devs are basically taking the brunt force of this from a decision Sony made.
And that's unfortunately just what I would say. That's unfortunately, I think, like the worst part about being a game dev, and like right now, because while you might work on something you love, you don't have full control of it. Because, for instance, like I'll use Cyberpunk as an example. The devs knew that game was not ready to launch, but they had no control. They had no control of that. That was like business decision right there to release the game when they did, and
they released that game in that piss poor ass state, man. That was crazy.
And the developers for CG Projekt, and I feel bad because CD Projekt Red got so much flack for that, and I'm just like, I know the people that actually worked on that shit did not want to release it when they did, but they caught so much shit for that. And right now, the Helldivers devs are getting so much shit. Now, granted, I do think like there's a decent amount of people that outcry and say, "Hey, this is Sony. We know point blank this is Sony," because they like, for instance, if it was them, they probably would made sure this was in the beginning of the game when it came out. But,
yeah. And then if also, speaking of that and that as well, like the game has also been getting review bombed on Steam. Well, if I'm not mistaken, the overall review on it has gone down to like to mix or / mostly negative now. It's kind of crazy.
I believe it's mixed now, but from what people say, from what articles are saying though, that's what they recommend people doing. If you really wanted to
Yes,
get
like
noticed.
the devs are recommending you all to do this.
Yeah,
like they're saying go on to the Steam pages, places where it's actual gonna do some damage. And they even said if you also feel your frustration, you going, as far as to refund the game as well, which is crazy. But I mean, they're right as well. Unfortunately, you gotta hit them where their pockets hurts. Unfortunately,
so I just looked at Steam actually. So right now it says for all reviews, basically like the overall thing, it's mixed, but recent reviews are overwhelmingly negative.
It's mostly negative. Yeah.
So I hope Sony works with the Helldivers devs to make it to do something, because I don't think it's fair for people who have spent hours in the game already, who have made connections and stuff like that.
If I'm not mistaken, the devs have already said they're working on a workaround to find out how the people in those countries can still continue to play the game. Because I do agree, like that's just straight up bullshit. But if I'm not mistaken, I also did see online that Steam is offering refunds to those people in those countries as well. So that is a good thing. Like they can at least get their money back. But regardless, like it shouldn't have to be a case. Like they should be able to play the game that they paid for.
Exactly.
Right. So
especially for the people and then I mean, like let's not even get started on the fact that like the people who already did the microtransactions, like the things like that.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. This is insane.
Cause like you said, I'm pretty sure the refund only counts for like the base game. You probably wouldn't get your money back for all the small microtransactions and stuff. If you have already made some stuff like, I didn't even think about that, man. Oh man.
Yeah, so this is just
it's just a terrible situation all around.
Yeah. But hopefully, they can, with the review, but with the stuff that's happening on Steam and like the outcry on social media, Sony, whoever at Sony who can change this sees this and is like, hey, we should not do this or something.
I don't know what big up authority, like you said, that has authority to change that at Sony, but hopefully some, like you said, the people who does have the power to change this, somebody gets into their ears and just be like, hey, we gotta fix this. Like we cannot. Because these little bumps in accounts is not worth it. Is what's going on right now. It's just not.
I don't think. Yeah, I would hope, because this just really ruins all the good faith and stuff that Helldivers had built already. So
because like on one end it's like I don't want to. It's like yes, I want to keep playing the game and support the devs at the same time, but then it's like, if you do that, am I still telling Sony that I'm okay with this decision, right? But then it's like, I don't want the devs to but like it's like if I stop playing at the same time, would that hurt the devs? Like I don't want to hurt, the devs.
I don't want to hurt the studio. So they made a great product, right? But it's a catch-22. It just sucks. So yeah, if you're in the gaming space or stuff like that, that was our little gaming news minute. And if you weren't aware of the Helldivers situation, now you're caught up. And I would, if you want to say something about it, please go ahead and on your social media to your friends, whatever.
Make your voices heard.
Make sure you get something.
Make your voices heard. Because I mean, just in general, for all our fellow gamers out there, you guys know how the the direction the gaming industry has been going in these past few years, right? We've all seen it, and slowly but surely over these past few years, we've been starting to wake up as a community as a whole, and we're starting to give pushback here and there in certain areas. But like stuff like this, and then like stuff that happened with Tarkov as well recently, like stuff like that, we just can't let slide, right? It's I don't know, man.
Yeah. So hopefully they change their mind after they hear all of these people disgruntled. But yeah, that was our GLC news corner about that one.
that it was everybody. So we're gonna round out today's episode with our weekly recommendation. Go ahead and take
so
away.
This one is recent. This was from last season. So I'm recommending Witch and the Beast, and you're probably like, didn't y'all talk about that before? We did. But I do want to reiterate. For this episode, I went back and watched Mashle. Like I finished up the season, and I kind of blew through it. So I was like, oh, let me also check out something else from last season that I started but didn't really get to finish. So I started up Witch and the Beast. When I tell you, I really fuck with this show heavy now. Like I haven't fully finished it, but it was a really good watch. So like for those who don't know, basically Witch and the Beast focused on these two characters, one named Ashley, one named Guido, and they work for this magical bureau basically that looks into
Mm-hmm.
magical disturbances within their world. One of the major things is that they deal with are witches who seem to be magic users born with extremely innate power, and sometimes they fuck with the rest of the world. Guido specifically wants to kill. Basically, is like for anytime there's a witch, it's on site for that motherfucker. It don't matter because apparently we find out basically through like the events of well, basically first episode you find
The
out
store.
that
Yeah,
they're
the first
cursed,
episode, yeah.
and they want to relieve that curse, and the only way to do that is to find the witch who inflicted them, but they don't know who that is. So anytime there's a witch report, they are ready to scrap basically. And
Yep.
through the events of the series, you learn so much more about the world and so much more about like the organization and the characters that it just becomes like really more interesting. I was telling a friend of mine that honestly, as I kept watching it, it was reminding me kind of like Vanitas, like how that world slowly opened up and you kind of got like more information.
Okay, you piquing my interest now.
Like
a little
I was
bit more.
like because like you know how like Vanitas started and you had like very basic explanation. This is a vampire. There's werewolves. There's other stuff going on. Like
but then the world started opening up. There's a whole vampire world out there. They have a hierarchy to how they run their business and stuff. And
so as the episodes continue, the world opens up from like it starts with like I want to say witches and like the different types and stuff like that, but also you start learning more about the organization that the main characters are a part of, other organizations that exist out there to keep magic in check as well, because it's not just the one they work for, and it just became a lot more interesting. And I will say this, like the first two episodes, I think when we talked about it, I was like the first two episodes that we watched, because that's where we kind of like talked about it, I was like, this was good, they were good and it was interesting, but it didn't really like just kind of pull me in. As I kept watching, I was like, oh, this show is actually pretty good. Like I was,
it opens up. Okay.
I kind of kin it to almost like wrong way to use healing magic, where this didn't seem special, but as you watched more, it was just a really enjoyable show. Basically,
got you. Okay, so let me ask you that, because one of the cool things I did think about the show was that, like you said, the whole magic bureau that they worked for, the aspect of the show. Do they expand more upon that as the episodes go on?
Actually, in one of the earlier episodes, I can't remember if it's like the 5th or 6th one, they actually switch to 2 other characters from that the magical bureau, and that to me, I think was one of the most interesting like little things about it. And that's really kind of where I was like, okay, I'm getting Vanitas vibes here, because they talk more about like the organization and the world. Like they even break down like specifically the reason they switch characters, because they end up dealing with this magic that Ashif is not familiar. Well, he's familiar with it, but he doesn't specialize in it. He's like, hey, I can't really help y'all with this job. They're in the city and they're talking to police. I'm not good. I can't. I'm not a part of that organization. But we do have a specialist. I'll give you their number. Just make sure you have this ready for when they appear. And they break down basically this new type of magic. And I was like, this is the shit I wanted basically from this series. And I got it. And I was like, yeah.
Okay, yeah. No, that like I said, that was on my list as well. And I like you already said earlier, you know, when I first did watch it, it was enjoyable, but it wasn't really nothing that really pulled me in. So I am glad to hear that that does come at the later episodes, that it does make me want to go back and finish it a little bit sooner now, because I was gonna get around to it, but definitely hearing you preaches good praise here, I'm definitely want to get back around to that a little bit sooner.
I would definitely say, if you like magic, if you like occult stuff and mystery, definitely check it out. It was really good. I'm not even fully done with it yet. I think I'm like 2 episodes, but I can honestly say it's a really interesting and good series. If you don't know where to watch it, it's on Crunchyroll. It's got 1 season so far. I hope based on how the first season is going, I do hope it gets renewed for a second, because if not, I will be starting to read the manga. I can't even lie to you. I can't even lie to you. I gotta know how this shit goes. I gotta know.
That's crazy. Well, all right. Well, everybody, I hope everybody has been enjoying the spring season. Once again, that was the weekly recommendation that brought to you via McMillian, The Witch and the Beast. But you know, the spring 2024 season is off to full swing now. Some of his later shows are now also starting to air. My Hero just aired yesterday. Season 7 just aired yesterday.
Demon Slayer comes back this weekend, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it comes out next week. The week of the 14th, I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay. So it's next week. Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, hold on. What day does Demon Slayer come out? If it's not this week, it's definitely next week that Demon Slayer comes back. But I can tell you here in a second.
Well, I think I just pulled it up on my phone.
May 12th. So that
it's next weekend. Like I said, it's a Sunday. It's next Sunday.
So next week.
Oh well, yeah. Technically, it's the beginning of next week, but if you include Sunday in the weekend, then technically I was also correct. Fuck it.
I guess, yeah. I guess technically this up and coming weekend, right? I guess you're technically still right, but yes. Demon Slayer season 4 premieres May 12th, and as I just mentioned, My Hero season 7 just premiered this past Saturday on May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. And it was off to a phenomenal start. I wanted to talk about that in this episode a little bit because their first episode was a banger, but our boy McMillian has not yet caught up.
I do apologize.
Blame him, everybody. Blame him.
There was family over. They took up my weekend. I could not watch the newest episode. I'm so sorry. But next episode, hopefully we can touch on that and maybe Demon Slayer or something. But
of course.
Yeah. Whew. But
well, all right, everybody.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I was gonna just agree with you that the spring season, I think, has, with all the new series, like we touched upon our last thing, I think that stuff is looking really good, and the returning shows have been good. Like Mashle was great, and from what it sounded like, also My Hero is off to a great start. So this sounds like spring is about to be a very strong season. So just pay attention, be out there. Hope you're enjoying it. But like with all that,
before you get into that, I do got to start delving into some of these. I will say I do got to start delving into some of these other side, spring shows for the season. See what little hidden gems we got out there. I will say, Bartender Glass of God has been a wonderful time for me. I don't really like slice of animes too much like that, but this slice of life I'm enjoying the hell out of this one. So definitely go check that one out. But just in general, I do have to peek my head around it a little bit more, see what else we got going on out there for this spring season.
Yeah, but with all that, let me go ahead and take us on out of here. I appreciate you all for watching and listening. If you want to stay up to date on all things about the council, please follow us on our social media. That is at Gurren Otaku Council on everything else except Twitter, where we are Gurren Otakus. If you're fucking with the content, please hit that like and subscribe button. It helps us grow. Just because we got to 100 does not mean you have to stop subscribing. If you're listening to us on our audio only platforms, please consider following us wherever you listen at, as well as leaving a review. It really helps us out as well. And share us with your friends/family who you think might be interested in to listen to us knuckleheads give our our weekly opinions on anime and other things of that nature. But with all that being said, guys, keep enjoying the spring season. This is Gurren Otaku Council saying meeting adjourned. Peace out, everybody.